that? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we're okay. I think, but don't go far. We all set? All right. You're on the record? All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Chuck McLean, I'm the Chief Public Utility Law Judge here at the Maryland Public Service Commission. Today is April 7th, 2025. It's approximately 10 o'clock. We're here in case number 9500S, which is captioned in the matter of the continuing investigation of the commodity and purchase gas adjustment charges of the Baltimore Gas and Electric Company. We can start with appearances. Ms. Moriarty.
Good morning, Your Honor. I am Catherine Moriarty, and I'm an attorney for Baltimore Gas and Electric Company.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Pauline Races. I'm here on behalf of OPC.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Dean on behalf of the staff of the Maryland Public Service Commission.
Good morning, Mr. Dean. All right. Ms. Moriarty.
Yes, good morning again, Your Honor. Baltimore Gas and Electric Company would like to mark for Exhibit Number 1 the Certificate of Publication filed on April 3rd, 2025.
It'll be marked for identification.
And the parties have agreed to stipulate to the admission of pre-filed testimony of the parties. So I will mark those, our BGE's testimonies right now. Okay,
Please.
so Your Honor, may I please mark BGE Exhibit Number 2, the direct testimony of Gina Calvert filed on January 31st, 2025, consisting of 7 pages and 2 exhibits. And BGE requests to mark the direct testimony of Mr. John Hayes, filed on January 31st, 2024, consisting of 15 pages and 7 exhibits. Pardon, Your Honor, that was 2025.
Sure.
Consisting of 15 pages and 7 exhibits, pre-marked as BGE Exhibit 3. And I request, Your Honor, to move BGE Exhibits 1, 2, and 3 into the evidentiary record.
They'll be so marked, and given the stipulation, they are admitted. Mr. Dean, do you want to go ahead and do staff's exhibits, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. Staff would like to mark the direct testimony exhibits of Alden Manka, dated March 14, 2025, as Staff Exhibit Number 1.
All right. It'll be so marked.
And staff would like to mark as Staff Exhibit Number 2 the direct testimony of Mark Riley, dated March 14, 2025.
All right. It'll be so marked.
And staff would like to admit its testimony into the administrative record.
They are admitted. All right. Ms. Moriarty?
Yes, BGE calls Mr. John Hayes.
And OPC has no testimony. Just,
No exhibits.
all right. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Hayes. Excuse me. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the testimony that you're about to give?
I do.
And could you please spell and state your last and first name for the record?
First name is John, John. Last name is Hayes, Hays.
And could you give us your business address?
Yes, I can. One moment, please. My business address is Baltimore Gas and Electric, 2 Center Plaza, 110 West Fayette Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21201.
Thank you.
Morning, Mr. Hayes.
Good morning.
All right. Is your mic on, sir?
Yes.
Yep, it is. All right, great. I appreciate you being here. And just before, does OPC or staff have any questions for Mr. Hayes before I?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right.
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you being here. Just had a couple questions for you based on your testimony. Do you have a copy in front of you, sir?
I do.
All right, page 8 and 9, sir.
Okay.
All right, it's okay. You're discussing a U.S. Court of Appeals decision that vacated FERC's certificate order for of the REA project, and that's the Regional Energy Access Expansion Project. Do you know what the status of that case is right now, sir?
Currently, the last that I am aware is that, and I'll refer to the footnote 9
Mhm.
at the bottom of my testimony on page 9.
Right.
That basically they had delayed their order vacating that certificate, so that beginning in November of 2024, BGE included it in its Citygate index. But that is the latest knowledge that I have.
Okay, so that's still pending. So then you kind of led me into my next question. So BGE started including I guess the cost of that project into its November 2024 Citygate index calculation?
We included it in the Citygate index calculation. Basically, what that means is we add that contribution to the calculation of the Citygate index. Basically, we have certain basins where we have the ability contractually on the interstate pipelines to purchase gas. And so this is part of an existing basin that we have. So we just increase the relative weighting or relative contribution of that basin compared to all the others beginning in November 2024.
Okay, so just is the company including costs of the REA project in the calculation?
Well, the way the calculation works is the Citygate index is the benchmark price for gas, and it's based on the relative weighting of all of the basins from which we can purchase gas at any given time. So depending on pricing, and this is where Ms. Calvert's team gets into specifics of where the better basins to purchase gas at any month would go. All this does by adjusting the Citygate index is to say, here's our basin weightings, here's our target, our benchmark for purposes of sharing any actual difference between that benchmark, that Citygate index, and actual purchases, actual commodity purchases is shared 50-50. Whether that purchase is above the benchmark, that Citygate index, or below it.
Okay.
So all we're doing here is adjusting for that target or that index based on the fact that with the stay of that order to vacate, that capacity is eligible to purchase gas from that point. So we increase the relative weighting percentage
Okay,
of
so,
that basin.
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So in your footnote 9, you conclude, it says, the company began including this capacity in the Citygate index calculation subject to any future filings. And what do you mean by the future filings?
Well, if the Court of Appeals process or anything else designates that that FERC certificate is revoked and gas can no longer flow on that pipeline or on that project, that's one hypothetical, and in that case, we would propose to take out that capacity from the calculation of the Citygate index because that 40,000 decatherms a day would no longer be eligible for us to purchase from that receipt point.
Okay, so assume that were to happen, what does that do to impact on customers, if any?
That would just readjust the Citygate index benchmark calculation back to what it was pre-November 2024.
Okay, would it result in any potential credits?
We would do this on a prospective basis. So just like for example, for November, we now have some certainty that we can purchase gas from that point as long as that stay is in effect. Depending on the order or type of stay that there is, and if FERC decides or doesn't decide to issue a temporary emergency certificate, right? That's another option that FERC can do. If it gets to the point, I guess the bottom line is if it gets to the point where we are not able to purchase gas at that Transco REA purchase point, that receipt point, we would take it out of the Citygate index during that time.
Okay, but as of now, you're able to purchase gas?
That's right.
Okay.
That is correct.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, I got one more area I want to hit, sir. If you could turn to page 14 of your direct, please, sir.
Okay.
In second first full paragraph, line 7, you start talking about what the ACA is going to be for 2025, and right now it's you indicate that it's designed to collect 28.5 million, and it results in a 5.83 cents per therm ACA rate. Compared to the previous year, that's a pretty significant jump, correct?
That is correct.
It's is there something that you can point to say this is why, one of the reasons for the significant jump, sir?
Yes, the main driver is the significantly warmer than normal weather and winter that we had November 2023 to April 2024. Subject to check, that was about 14% warmer than normal overall over that entire period, which is a significant deviation from historical weather. We've had warmer than normal winters before, but 14% is very significant. So that caused an undercollection that is driving the larger than normal true up that we had this ACA.
So in a nutshell, less usage by the customers?
That's correct.
Okay. Is that any other significant things that jumped out at you from this proceeding to last year, sir?
That's the main one. There's also the impact of when we are purchasing less gas than what we had expected. Basically, we have a baseline of the gas cost factor where all of the non-commodity, or what I like to call the non-molecules, the costs and credits are kind of aggregated together into one rate that's in effect for the November through October period. And so among those things, we forecast and we estimate the sharing, for flowing gas, which is gas that is bought in the month for delivery in that month and use in that month. And so when you have a significantly warmer than normal period, what we had originally forecasted that we thought was going to be the sharing credits and benefits to customers, to commodity customers, was not as high because we did not buy as much of that flowing gas because our customers weren't using that. So that's another big driver.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Of this.
I'm sorry. And were the fixed price purchases that the company made, that 10 to 20% that's kind of like in its sunset, so to speak?
Yes, sir.
Was that, how did that factor in, if at all?
I believe witness Calvert
Is that Ms. Morton?
well testified that it was significantly higher.
Right.
I know from a rate perspective, and I can go to one of my exhibits if you'd like, that it was higher, that the fixed price gas was significantly higher than the Citygate index in each of those, in those months.
Now, if I could get you to put on your, get your crystal ball out. What have you looked ahead to see what next year may look like based on the fact that BGE won't be doing those fixed price purchases anymore? See what kind of impact that might have.
Yeah, I have not.
Okay.
I know it will vary based on what the supply and demand conditions are at that time. I do know that historically, as Ms. Calvert has testified for several years, and Mr. Jennings before that, is that fixed price gas that was purchased prior to the winter for winter delivery has always been higher than gas that you could buy in that month, in the winter months. So not having that, it is likely that the gas that we priced at the fixed price for the period under review, we would now likely be buying that more at the Citygate index benchmark thing, which has historically been much lower.
All right. Fair enough. Thank you, sir. Ms. Moriarty, you have any questions based on mine?
No, Your Honor.
Ma'am?
No questions for the witness.
Mr. Dean?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much for being here, Mr. Hayes. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. We have anything else for today?
No.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. We are off the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.